Okay, let's dive in. Think about this for a moment. You're home, completely relaxed, maybe scrolling through something, enjoying a quiet afternoon, and then you see it.
Mm-hmm.
A spider doing that fast scuttle across the floor, or perhaps a bee persistently buzzing against the window pane.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Maybe it's just a line of ants suddenly appearing on your kitchen counter. Our immediate, almost automatic reaction is usually annoyance, maybe even a little shudder, and then the practical impulse kicks in. How do I get rid of this?
That reaction is understandable, isn't it? It's practical.
Hmm.
But the insights we're going to unpack today, drawing from, well, a really fascinating perspective, suggest something entirely different.
Hmm.
They propose that these aren't random occurrences, simply nature intruding on your domestic space. What if these common, often overlooked visitors are actually messengers?
Messengers.
Carriers of profound, perhaps even spiritual or energetic messages specifically intended for you.
That's the fascinating idea at the heart of what we're exploring. It
Yeah.
really challenges our conventional view of the world, doesn't it?
It does.
Our mission for this deep dive is to step beyond that immediate pest reaction and unpack the rich insights contained within this particular framework. We're going to look at a perspective that seeks to bridge ancient spiritual traditions with concepts that even touch upon modern physics, all to understand what these unexpected visitors might be trying to communicate to you.
It's about adopting a different lens, isn't it? One that views the world around us as far more interconnected and alive with meaning than we typically allow ourselves to perceive.
Right.
It's a journey into a subtle language the universe might be speaking, a language that could be offering guidance or validation right there in your living room or kitchen.
So that brings us to the foundational premise of this perspective. The idea that creatures like insects, or really any unexpected natural visitor in your space, could be messengers.
Mm.
At its core, this framework asks us to reconsider the nature of coincidence. Are things happening around us truly random events, isolated incidents in a chaotic world?
Or is there, as this view suggests, a deeper, profound interconnectedness to life, operating within what some might call a grander design?
That's a big question.
It is. And this perspective posits that the universe itself, or a divine intelligence, if you prefer that terminology, isn't a distant, uninvolved force. It's constantly communicating with us.
How so?
Well, not necessarily through loud pronouncements, but through subtle whispers, intuitive nudges, and signs woven into the fabric of everyday life. And within this view, these small creatures aren't random trespassers. They could be direct, unfiltered channels for delivering specific information tailored to your current situation.
And this is where the framework makes a really interesting connection. While ancient spiritual texts across various traditions speak of an invisible realm, a divine presence that permeates everything, often described as an inner kingdom or a universal spirit.
Right, like the kingdom of God within, for instance.
Exactly. This perspective also draws parallels with modern scientific thinking, particularly in the realm of quantum physics.
Exactly. Now, it's important to note that this is how this specific framework interprets these connections, bridging seemingly disparate fields. Quantum physics, at its most fundamental level, describes a reality where everything is energy.
Vibrating energy.
Yes, vibrating and interacting within an immense interconnected field. It tells us that what feels solid and separate is, at a deeper level, mostly empty space, a dynamic dance of energy.
Right. So the argument presented is that if everything is fundamentally this vibrating energy within the same universal field of consciousness, then the idea of communication happening across what we perceive as separate entities, say, between the universe and a human, mediated by an insect, becomes less far-fetched within this specific model.
It challenges our rigid classical physics understanding of a purely mechanical universe.
It really does.
And crucially, this perspective highlights why we often miss these signs. Our modern lives are incredibly demanding. We are constantly bombarded with external stimuli, caught in cycles of doing, planning, worrying.
So much noise.
This perpetual busyness, this mental noise, effectively drowns out the subtle frequencies of this universal language. These signs, described here as divine breadcrumbs or synchronicities, are intended not just as interesting occurrences, but as functional guides.
The guides.
Them to help us recalibrate, to bring us back into alignment with states of joy, love, purpose, and abundance that, from this view, are our natural state.
So seeing that bug isn't just a general cosmic suggestion then. The core idea is that the specific insect appearance can be a highly personalized download, a direct message from this cosmic intelligence.
Exactly. It carries a unique, energetic signature and meaning that's relevant specifically to you in that moment. It could be an insight you needed, a warning about something you're not seeing, a validation of a path you're on, or simply a piece of guidance for your next step.
Wow.
That concept of interconnectedness, which this framework calls the quantum dance, where it views both humans and insects as electric impulses dancing within the same quantum field of consciousness, is presented as the basis for this communication. It ties into those ancient teachings like the idea of the kingdom of God within, suggesting the divine isn't solely external, but an intrinsic part of us and everything else.
Which, in this framework, elevates these seemingly humble creatures beyond mere biological organisms. They are positioned as spirit messengers. Their appearance is seen as an invitation, the next time you encounter one, to pause, to step out of the automatic reaction and witness for a moment this potential divine design unfolding.
Offering you a chance to decode a piece of the universe's subtle language delivered right there in your personal space.
It really requires a shift in perspective, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. From simple biology or an annoyance to potentially profound, personalized insight. With that foundation laid, maybe we should start exploring what some specific visitors might be trying to communicate according to this framework.
Yes, let's do that. Let's start with one that most people react to with less immediate negativity, perhaps even some affection. The bee.
The bee.
The message associated with the bee in this perspective is beautifully summarized as believe in your purpose.
Bees are truly remarkable creatures, and their symbolism here is rich. They embody qualities that this framework links to positive life forces, focus, diligence, unwavering intentionality.
You really see that when you watch them work.
You do. When you observe a bee, their sustained effort towards a goal, collecting nectar, building the hive, is directly tied to sustaining life through pollination. They are presented as the epitome of purposeful, productive action.
So when a lone bee unexpectedly enters your home, according to this framework, it's not just a lost pollinator buzzing around.
No, it's interpreted as a powerful validation directly from spirit. It's described as receiving a cosmic high five.
A cosmic high five. I like that.
It's a great image, isn't it? A high five that specifically acknowledges your journey and efforts. The message is that your visions, your intentions, the deeper sense of purpose you hold, they are actively blossoming right now. Yes. You are, perhaps even unknowingly, spreading seeds through your work, your ideas, your very way of being in the world, and those seeds are destined to bear sweet fruits in your life.
So the appearance of a bee in your indoor space is seen as a confirmation. Keep shining. Continue on the path you're currently pursuing.
Exactly. This perspective suggests your efforts are not only seen, but are being actively supported by unseen forces and the universal energy field. It's presented as a truly uplifting affirmation.
Think about what this might mean for you, listening right now. If you've been pouring effort into a project, navigating a complex personal goal, or even wrestling with what your next step should be,
Seeing a bee indoors can be immense encouragement. It's interpreted as validation that your hard work has real significance, that you're moving in the right direction, and that the universe is giving you a nod of approval, a little boost.
Okay, now let's move from a creature generally admired to one that, for most people, elicits a very different, often visceral reaction, the spider.
Yes, the spider.
Yeah.
Definitely a shift in energy.
The message here is interpreted as spinning truths, and these truths, in this framework, might be uncomfortable ones.
Spiders within the symbolic language are frequently linked to experiencing or being in proximity to states of pain, anguish, or discomfort. They are, according to this perspective, energetically drawn to and seem to feed upon low vibrational energies.
And their web, it's a marvel of engineering, but its primary purpose in nature and definitely in the symbolism is a trap.
Precisely. And the biological process of consuming prey, injecting that venomous enzyme to digest internally before consuming, leaving behind what's described here as a drained and lifeless shell, is used as a powerful metaphor.
A bit chilling, actually.
It can be. When you apply that energetic and symbolic meaning to an unexpected spider appearance indoors, it's seen as a subtle but potentially urgent warning sign, an indicator that energy vampires might be at play in your life.
Yeah, and it's important to understand, as this framework presents it, energy vampires aren't necessarily just malicious people, right?
Correct. While toxic relationships can certainly fall into this category, the term also encompasses negative thought patterns you might be holding on to, unhealthy habits, or specific situations that are subtly or overtly draining your vital life force.
Trapping you.
Exactly, trapping you in cycles that don't serve your well-being or growth.
So the spider's presence is interpreted as a gentle,
Hmm.
or maybe sometimes not so gentle, nudge from spirit.
Urging you to shift your perspective or your attitude towards something specific. It's a call to become acutely aware of what might be trapping you energetically, preventing you from thriving, and thus making you vulnerable to having your energy drained.
So what's the way out? What's the proposed solution or path forward presented in this framework?
Actively cultivate more light, more joy, more self-love from within yourself. This perspective suggests that increasing your own internal energetic frequency makes you less palatable, less accessible to these draining spiders than negative energies or situations they represent.
Okay, so raise your vibration, essentially.
You could put it that way. It's framed as a powerful call to reclaim your personal power and energetic sovereignty, to consciously choose to invest your energy, your thoughts, your emotions only in things that genuinely serve your growth, your health, and your highest good.
It sounds like awareness is key.
Awareness and courage. Recognizing where those drains are and having the awareness and courage to cut those energetic cords.
So why might seeing a spider indoors matter specifically to you? It's interpreted as a potentially challenging but vital prompt to examine your energetic boundaries.
Right. To take an honest look at your relationships, your daily activities, even your internal self-talk, and identify any sources or situations where your vitality, your very life force, might be getting siphoned away without you fully realizing it.
That requires some real honesty. Okay, let's move on to another very common household visitor, the ant.
Ah, the industrious ant.
Ants are almost universally recognized symbols of community, diligent effort, and incredible teamwork. The message they carry in this framework is presented as industrious ant, community, caution, and cosmic high fives.
And one particularly intriguing detail in this perspective is that the meaning associated with ants can differ significantly based on their color. There's a crucial distinction that this framework makes here.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yes, the appearance of black ants is often interpreted as a form of cosmic appreciation specifically for your hard work and dedication.
So like the bee, but maybe more about the grind.
Perhaps more about the consistent, diligent effort. It's seen as validation to continue on your current path, to keep pushing forward with your endeavors. It's the universe, or spirit, giving you that high five again.
Another cosmic high five.
Yes. Directly acknowledging the tireless efforts you've been making towards building your dreams or achieving your goals. They are a sign, in this view, that you are undeniably on the right track.
A tiny, persistent black ant delivering a universal high five. It's a compelling image within this framework. But then there are the red ants.
Ah, yes. Red ants carry a very different energy.
The sudden appearance of red ants, especially if they seem agitated or arise in significant numbers, carries a very different, more urgent warning, according to this perspective.
Red ants are often interpreted as signifying impending danger or potential conflict looming on the horizon. The belief here is that a divine messenger is arriving in this form, specifically to urge you towards a state of heightened awareness and caution regarding your current circumstances or a situation you're involved in.
So not a high five, more like a flashing warning light.
Exactly. And the call to action associated with red ants is quite specific and counterintuitive to our usual reactions to conflict or danger.
How so?
This framework advises against knee-jerk reactions. The message encourages you to withdraw inward, to center yourself, and to align with a deeper, more loving wisdom rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or anger. You are cautioned not to rush into decisions when red ants appear.
So don't just lash out or run away. Pause.
Precisely. Instead, the guidance is to wait patiently for clarity to emerge, to allow the situation to unfold naturally without forcing an outcome, to trust that the appropriate path or resolution will reveal itself in due time.
Interesting. It requires trust.
It does. It's presented as a potent reminder to be exceptionally mindful of your surroundings, your interactions, and crucially, your own emotional and energetic reactions during potential difficulty or conflict.
So why might the message of the ant matter specifically to you, the listener? If you're seeing black ants, it's interpreted as powerful encouragement for your perseverance, validation that your hard work and consistent effort are being recognized and supported.
And if you're seeing red ants, it's a timely alert, prompting heightened awareness, caution, and a measured, deliberate, rather than reactive response when potential difficulties or conflicts present themselves. Pay attention.
Got it. Okay, next we turn to a creature that is almost universally beloved and seen as a delightful visitor, the ladybug.
Oh, everyone loves ladybugs. These are associated with wonderful blessings. Ladybug blessings, luck, protection, and abundance.
Ladybugs hold a place of reverence in cultures around the world, widely considered an auspicious sign of good luck, good fortune, and divine protection.
Absolutely. Their appearance, those vibrant red shells, often adorned with black polka dots, is sometimes said to resemble the life-giving energy of the sun. They simply seem to exude a naturally joyful energy that's hard to resist.
So when a ladybug graces you with its presence, the framework interprets this as a truly holy moment of blessing, a direct gift from the Great Spirit or universal energy.
They are seen as powerful, tangible reminders that you are deeply supported by invisible hands, wrapped in what's described as an indestructible cloak of power that is far grander and more protective than anything you could construct yourself.
Wow, an indestructible cloak of power. That's quite something.
It is, and the invitation that comes with a ladybug's appearance, according to this perspective, is to consciously open yourself to receiving prosperity, joy, and overall well-being.
So it's not just good luck, it's an active invitation to receive.
Yes. This framework suggests that these positive states and gifts are constantly flowing freely from a divine cosmic reservoir, and that accessing them is, in fact, your inherent absolute birthright.
And the meaning is said to become even more specific based on the number of ladybugs you encounter, right?
That's the tradition, yes. While a single ladybug is seen as a profoundly uplifting message in itself, this tradition whispers that seeing a pair together indicates double blessings and is a sign that abundance in some form is swiftly making its way into your life.
Double blessings, nice. And what about more?
Some legends associated with ladybugs even promise that spotting 7 of them means your deepest wishes are on the verge of coming true.
7, okay.
While encountering a swarm hints that something truly miraculous is imminent, it's quite remarkable how much positive potential meaning is packed into this small beetle.
It really is.
But the central message, regardless of the number you see, remains crystal clear in this framework. You are safe. You are protected. Angels and benevolent ancestors are walking beside you on your journey. Good fortune is actively streaming into your life, perhaps endlessly.
That's incredibly reassuring.
It is. The universe is seen as cheering enthusiastically for your wildest dreams to manifest.
It's described as receiving a cosmic wink and smile, a moment where you can clearly see the benevolent energy of the universe actively at work through the simple, beautiful presence of this humble beetle.
And why this might matter specifically to you is the pure hopeful sign. It brings concrete confirmation of support, safety, and incoming good fortune, encouraging you to lower any resistance and consciously open yourself to receiving those blessings that are available to you. Just let them in.
Beautiful. Now we turn to a visitor often known more for its sound than its appearance.
The cricket.
Ah, the nighttime chirping. Their message in this framework is interpreted as chirping comfort, the cricket's reassurance. That familiar, gentle, rhythmic chirping sound, particularly prominent at night, is so often associated with feelings of peace, tranquility, and a sense of calm settling in.
It really is soothing. And spiritually, within this framework, crickets are considered particularly profound messengers.
Profound. How so?
Yes, they are often believed to bring good news, especially good news emanating from the other side, meaning from loved ones who have passed on or from spiritual guides.
Oh, wow.
Their persistent, soothing song is seen as radiating messages of comfort, support, and deep reassurance across dimensions.
So if crickets suddenly become very present in your life, perhaps appearing indoors unexpectedly, or their chirping becomes particularly noticeable, especially during times when you've been feeling a sense of loss, grief, or longing for someone who has crossed over.
This framework interprets it as a deeply beautiful and significant sign.
Okay.
It's seen as your ancestors and inner spirit guides actively reaching out to you, offering a tangible, energetic embrace across the veil. The core message they are said to carry is, we are with you. We are with you. We hear your thoughts, your feelings, your prayers. We love you deeply. Keep following the intuitive stirrings and promptings in your heart. You are indeed on the right path, and you are not alone.
That's incredibly moving. This serves as a tender, powerful reminder from this perspective. You are never truly isolated or abandoned.
Exactly. And that, according to this view, the veil between our physical world and other realms of existence is far thinner and more permeable than our everyday experience often leads us to believe.
It feels closer sometimes.
The invitation, when you hear their distinctive song or notice their presence, is to consciously allow that sound to wash over you and bring you a sense of peace and calm. It's a cue to remind yourself of the eternal, unbreakable connection you share with those who have crossed over and with the broader spiritual support system available to you.
Why this message might matter specifically to you is its power as a deeply comforting sign, particularly during periods of grief, loneliness, uncertainty, or major life transitions.
It's interpreted as a direct indication that you are surrounded by unseen support, guidance, and love, reminding you that you are always connected. You're not alone in it.
Shifting gears slightly, we encounter a visitor that isn't technically an insect, but is often grouped with these other unexpected home visitors carrying spiritual meaning: the lizard.
Right, the lizard. This one is framed as the sly scuttler, the lizard's warning.
When an unexpected lizard makes its way into your home, perhaps you see it scuttling quickly across a wall or floor, or you almost step on one indoors. The guidance within this framework is to immediately pay close attention.
Yes, its appearance is interpreted as a subtle yet potentially crucial clue regarding your current environment or relationships.
And what's the clue?
The primary message the lizard might be bringing, according to this perspective, a warning that people around you, perhaps individuals you trust or interact with regularly, might be behaving in a two-faced manner or engaging in gossip or negative talk behind your back.
Oof, that's uncomfortable. The lizard's symbolic behavior, often quick, elusive movements, blending into surroundings, serves as an energetic alert then.
Precisely. A sign that others might be speaking words of deceit, spreading untruths, or engaging in manipulative behavior about you without your direct knowledge or awareness.
So what's the advice here? Be paranoid.
Not paranoid, no. Discerning. This perspective strongly encourages you to be discerning about who you place your trust in. It's a reminder to choose your inner circle wisely and to be mindful of who you allow close enough to access your vulnerabilities and personal energy.
Okay. So it's presented as an invitation to consciously step back and observe the dynamics within your relationships and social circle.
Exactly. Not from a place of paranoia or suspicion towards everyone, but from a place of heightened, conscious awareness and healthy discernment about where authenticity might be lacking.
And if your observations confirm something.
The framework suggests responding, when appropriate, with truth, courage, and a grounded calm, rather than getting pulled into the negative energy. But most importantly, the core call is to actively protect your energy field from individuals or situations that do not genuinely have your best interests at heart or seek to drain or diminish you.
The unexpected appearance of a lizard is, in this interpretation, a direct call to sharpen your intuition then.
Yes. To pay attention to your gut feelings about people and situations, and to recognize where congruence and authenticity might be absent in your environment. For you, this matters because it's a potent prompt to practice mindful discernment in your relationships, establish healthy boundaries, and safeguard your personal energy from negativity or deceit.
Good advice regardless, really. Okay, let's talk about a visitor that is almost universally perceived as annoying, even unwelcome.
The fly.
Oh, the fly. These buzzing creatures in this framework carry swarming significance, the message of flies. It's a common experience, isn't it? That persistent, irritating buzzing sound. Flies seem to descend without warning, constantly present, and they can be incredibly frustrating to deal with indoors.
Absolutely. But this perspective suggests their appearance carries a deeper meaning that goes beyond simple annoyance.
Okay, what is it?
In their spiritual and energetic symbolism within this specific framework, the presence of flies is often interpreted as representing periods when your personal energy feels significantly depleted or is under attack.
Depleted energy. Okay.
And this depletion isn't solely about physical tiredness, though that can be a component.
Right. I mean, you could be feeling physically run down, yes, but the emphasis is often on being emotionally or mentally drained. Perhaps you're grappling with significant stress, engaging in excessive overthinking.
Or carrying far too many burdens, responsibilities, or worries on your shoulders, leaving you energetically vulnerable, spread too thin.
So when flies make their unwelcome presence known, particularly if they are persistent or numerous, they are interpreted as telling you that your inner temple,
Your holistic state of being encompassing physical, emotional, mental, and energetic health.
right, that inner temple is signaling an immediate need for cleansing, recharging, and protection.
It's presented as a clear call to action for prioritizing your immediate well-being. Don't ignore it.
And the recommended actions, are they practical?
They are quite practical, though viewed through an energetic lens. Take a genuine break. Actively declutter your mind, perhaps through meditation, mindfulness, or simply stepping away from inputs. Consciously release what is no longer serving you,
Letting go.
whether that's obligations, negative thought loops, or draining activities, and deliberately engage in activities that authentically replenish your spirit and energetic reserves, whatever truly fills your cup.
So the persistent presence of flies is considered a strong sign that you urgently need to protect your energy boundaries.
Yes. To consciously create more space and time in your life specifically for rest, for genuine rejuvenation, and for dedicated, non-negotiable self-care practices that nurture your inner state.
The underlying reminder here is to view the flies, as irritating as they are, as messengers reminding you to attend to your own needs, particularly your energetic and emotional state.
Exactly. Why this might matter specifically to you is that their appearance is interpreted as a clear, unmistakable indicator that you need to prioritize self-care and energetic hygiene, especially during times when you are feeling overwhelmed, drained, or burdened. Listen to the buzz, maybe.
Listen to the buzz. Okay, take a breath, because we're moving on to a visitor that elicits perhaps the strongest, most immediate reaction of all for many people: the cockroach.
Ah, yes, the cockroach. The message here is profound. And for most, it's interpreted as a challenging one, labeled Unlocking Resilience, the cockroach's profound wisdom.
It's true. For most of us, seeing a cockroach triggers an immediate wave of disgust, repulsion, even fear. Their appearance, their association with unsanitary conditions, there's an innate, deep-seated revulsion.
Completely understandable, but the perspective we're exploring today specifically encourages us to transcend those base fears and knee-jerk reactions and look beyond the surface of that discomfort.
Okay. Oh.
Because when you examine the biological nature of the cockroach, they are presented in this framework as incredible survivors, almost unparalleled in the natural world.
They are tough. You have to give them that.
Extremely tough. They have endured mass extinction events throughout Earth's history. They can thrive in unbelievably hostile environments where little else can survive. They are known for overcoming extreme deprivation, exposure to radiation levels that would be lethal to humans, and even significant crushing forces.
Wow.
They possess an astonishing ability to adapt and not just survive, but seemingly thrive, despite facing seemingly insurmountable odds that would wipe out most other species.
So within this spiritual and energetic lens, the cockroach is seen as embodying radical evolutionary resilience, honed over literally millions of years.
Exactly. And the idea presented is that when these often reviled insects make an appearance in your home, they aren't simply pests to be eliminated. They are framed as heaven-sent mentors.
Mentors, cockroaches.
Mentors, arriving precisely when you need guidance to uncover and tap into the hidden wells of resilience that exist within you, particularly during periods of significant difficulty, challenge, or crisis in your life.
That's a radical reframe.
It is. This framework even suggests that cockroaches possess a form of collective consciousness and intuition that, in some ways, surpasses typical human awareness. Their appearance, therefore, is interpreted as prompting some potentially deep, soul-searching questions for you to consider.
Like what kind of question?
Questions like, where in your life are you being called to step outside your comfort zone, to face something difficult? Where could a radical shift in your perspective unlock a stagnant situation? Where can you uncover creative, adaptable solutions to challenges, particularly those arising from crystallized attitudes or limiting beliefs that have been holding you back? And where can you consciously cultivate grit, patience, and mental fortitude to push beyond what you perceive as your self-imposed limitations?
Deep questions prompted by a cockroach. The cockroach in this somewhat confronting framework is seen as carrying a powerful, almost miraculous medicine.
Yes. Its appearance, though perhaps triggering that innate disgust, is a forceful reminder that you, too, are infinitely adaptable at a fundamental level. That you, like this ancient survivor, possess the intrinsic capacity to not only survive, but to fundamentally adapt, transform, and ultimately thrive through all of life's inevitable trials and difficulties.
So their presence is presented as an urgent invitation to dig deep within yourself.
Right. To unlock latent gifts for regeneration, adaptation, and perseverance that you might not even realize you possess. To consciously allow this cockroach medicine, this challenging reminder of radical resilience, to spiritually strengthen and renew you from the inside out.
It's openly acknowledged in this framework that this can be a tough pill to swallow given our typical human reaction to them.
Very much so. But the message it brings, when you can look beyond the surface, is interpreted as profoundly empowering. Why it might matter specifically to you is that it's a challenging but ultimately powerful sign urging you to confront difficulty, tap into your deep inner strength, and activate your inherent adaptability precisely when you are facing the toughest times.
Wow, okay. Moving to a much lighter and more welcome visitor, the yellow butterfly.
Ah, beautiful. These are seen as bearers of joyful, fluttering affirmations. The yellow butterflies, yes.
Seeing a yellow butterfly has long been considered a symbol of hope, transformation, and specifically divine affirmation in many cultures.
Absolutely. The message it is said to carry within this framework is beautifully simple, yet incredibly powerful. The universe, or spirit, is giving you a resounding, enthusiastic yes.
A yes, just like that.
A clear and unambiguous yes to something significant that you are currently hoping for, a deep question you've been pondering, or a crucial decision you are contemplating making right now in your life.
Think about the important questions you might be wrestling with. Should I make that big move to a new city or home? Is this the right moment to finally launch that creative business idea I've been nurturing?
Or is a particular relationship serving my highest good? Or is it time to courageously explore a new connection or path? Those kinds of big life questions.
Exactly. When you've been asking for a sign, a clear nudge, and then a yellow butterfly makes a sudden noticeable appearance on your path, perhaps fluttering playfully around you, or even landing nearby and seemingly demanding your attention.
This framework interprets it as your direct confirmation, your sign.
No ambiguity.
None. It's described as receiving a rousing cosmic yes that resonates deep within your soul. The guidance is that the next time you see those vibrant yellow wings, consciously hear heaven's bells ringing out a loud, clear yes, specifically over whatever hopes, questions, or stirring decisions are currently active in your heart and mind.
The invitation is to let that sight, that interpreted affirmation, embolden and inspire you to move forward.
Yes. This perspective suggests that when you are guided by these clear signals, these spirit's sweet whispers, you cannot make a wrong step in the larger scheme of things. That whatever unfolds from that point, catalyzed by this affirmation, is truly meant to be and is guiding you towards your highest path.
That's very freeing.
It is. The call here is simply to consciously embrace that beautiful, joyful affirmation that the yellow butterfly brings into your awareness. Why it might matter specifically to you is that it's interpreted as a clear, undeniable, and incredibly uplifting sign of validation for your deepest hopes, your intuitive promptings, and the significant decisions you are facing. It's a powerful encouragement to move forward with confidence and trust in your path.
Wonderful. Finally, we come to another visitor often associated with light sources, particularly appearing in the evenings, the giant moth.
The moth. These are interpreted as carrying a message of profound change titled Quantum Leaps, the giant moth's transformative message.
The appearance of a giant moth, especially those with large, often fuzzy antennae, is said to carry an equally significant spiritual meaning within this framework.
Yes, its presence is interpreted as a powerful indicator that massive, perhaps rapid or fundamental change is currently underway or is imminent in your life.
We often observe moths fluttering erratically around lights or battering themselves against windows, and our common assumption is that they are simply lost or disoriented.
Right, just drawn to the light senselessly. But this perspective offers a different view. It suggests they are not lost, but rather following their innate divine guidance, navigating by the subtle energies of the cosmos, symbolized by moonbeams, and are perpetually drawn towards luminous truth, towards higher energy and light.
So when a giant moth appears and lingers around your home, perhaps hovering prominently outside a window or unexpectedly bumping about inside the interpretation, is that you should pay very close attention.
Their presence is highly likely to coincide with you feeling internally restless, sensing a deep dissatisfaction with the status quo, and experiencing an urgency for some kind of revelation or breakthrough in your life, that inner stirring.
According to this framework, Spirit sends the moth at this moment specifically to suggest that a breakthrough isn't just a distant possibility. It is here, very much on the horizon.
Yes. You are being prepared energetically and spiritually for what is described as a quantum leap in consciousness, a rapid, significant shift in your understanding, perspective, or state of being.
A quantum leap. What does that mean in practice?
It signifies that outworn ways of thinking that no longer serve you, old beliefs that have perhaps limited your potential, and restrictive patterns that have held you back are all beginning to dissolve and clear away, particularly in the coming days or weeks.
Making space.
Exactly. Their dissolution is making way for something entirely new, potentially exciting and profoundly aligned with your growth.
The giant moth, in this view, is a powerful harbinger, a visible signifier of this impending transformation. Its appearance is interpreted as prompting a profound internal question. What uplifting transformation, what significant awakening, what quantum leap in understanding or experience shall soon visit you?
The invitation here is to be actively watchful for these changes and breakthroughs, to prepare yourself to receive them openly and willingly when they arrive, rather than resisting them out of fear of the unknown.
Embrace the change.
This perspective frames the appearance of the moth within a larger context of profound energetic shifts happening around us and within us, and the moth's presence signifies that you are, in this moment, ready to undergo and integrate this significant transformation.
Why this might matter specifically to you is that it's interpreted as a strong, unmistakable sign indicating that significant personal transformation and potential breakthroughs are not only coming, but are imminent. It serves as a powerful urge to be open, receptive, and mentally and emotionally prepared for the profound positive change that is ready to unfold in your life.
So, as we connect all these different threads and interpretations, the overarching idea presented in this framework is that the world around us is far from being just inert mechanical matter. It is, in this view, teeming with guides, signs, and opportunities for connection and communication everywhere we choose to look.
It's perceived as a world full of magic and deeper meaning if we just tune in.
Exactly. And the reason many of us don't perceive this on a daily basis, as this perspective highlights, is because our modern busy lives have created a significant disconnect. We've often lost touch with our innate sensitivity and connection to the subtle language of nature and the universal energy field.
The constant noise and speed pull us away from that frequency, don't they?
They really do. The invitation presented here is to consciously choose to recalibrate your awareness, to make a promise to yourself, to walk through the world with a different kind of presence, perhaps, as suggested gently, with the wonder and open curiosity of a child.
I like that. Engage with the world with consciously open eyes and a receptive heart, actively looking and listening for these subtle communications.
And consciously choose to learn from everything in your environment, the enduring strength of mountains, the flowing adaptability of rivers, the changing forms of clouds, the vibrant life within a meadow.
Quiet your mind enough to listen as if every creature were speaking directly to you, like a brother listening to the comforting song of the cricket or the rhythmic rattle of the cicada.
This perspective profoundly emphasizes that no creature in this interconnected web of life, no matter how great or small, is without wisdom or potential messages specifically for you. The key, it consistently reminds us, is simply to cultivate the awareness and willingness to pay attention.
And so, if these winged and crawling friends or other unexpected natural visitors make their way into your personal space, the idea is that they are not random intrusions.
No. They are interpreted as heaven's helping hands, arriving precisely when needed, guiding you with subtle nudges and validations toward your highest potential path, and offering you tangible direction and support on your journey.
Because ultimately, within this framework, it is believed that angels, or benevolent energetic forces, come in countless forms.
Often with messages that are highly personalized and delivered just for you at the right moment. The final thought offered by this perspective is a beautiful blessing, that these insights and potential messages uplift and empower you as you courageously continue to create what this framework refers to as heaven on earth, right where you stand, manifesting your potential in your own unique space.
So, to briefly circle back on the surprising perspective we've explored today, this whole idea that common, often bothersome, visitors like insects and other small creatures might not just be pests,
but potential messengers carrying specific guidance for your life. It truly highlights the depth and richness that this perspective suggests is available to us if we simply slow down, consciously choose to pay attention to the subtle details of the world around us.
and open ourselves to the possibility that communication is happening in ways we haven't previously considered.
Exactly.
So instead of automatically dismissing the next spider you see scuttling, the bee buzzing against the window pane, or the fly you're tempted to swat away, the provocative thought from this deep dive is this: what if there is a message just for you embedded in that very moment?
What specific insight about your path, your energy, your resilience, or your purpose might that tiny visitor be trying to convey to you, according to this framework?
We encourage you to gently reflect on this idea. If you noticed any of these specific visitors recently,
And based on the potential meanings we've explored from this perspective, what message might they have been attempting to convey to you at that time? It's about maintaining that open mind and an open heart to the subtle, sometimes surprising, and often profound language that this framework suggests nature is constantly speaking.